Hello everyone and welcome back to the Facts with JJJ. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Jake.
And in today's video we're going to be talking about the one and only Sinister Six. All the way back in 1964, the two main men, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, released the Amazing Spider-Man Annual No. 1. An annual that would change Marvel Comics forever by birthing the Sinister Six, a gang of villains hell-bent on destroying Spider-Man, led by Dr. Octopus.
The gang was an instant hit with comic readers and has been revamped many times over the years, causing issues for Spider-Man again and again. They've appeared in comics, cartoons and games, and we think it's about time they finally appeared together in a film. So today we're going to be talking about which Spider villains are in the MCU, which should be introduced, and finally discussing our ideal Sinister Six.
You may think that you already know all the Spidey villains in the MCU, the Vulture, Mysterio and just a few other filler characters. Well, this mindset is dead wrong. In the Vultures group alone, we are already introduced to the Tinkerer, the Shocker, and later on in the film, we meet the Prowler, a lesser known Marvel villain. And at the very end of the film, we meet the Scorpion, a key member of certain versions of the Sinister Six.
In Far From Home we meet Mysterio, and through him we are also shown the Chameleon. Not all villains are obvious though. Peter's science teacher, Mrs. Warren, could be the MCU's version of the Jackal, and Ned becomes the Hobgoblin in one version of the comics. Although we highly doubt this, it could be a possibility. The last MCU existing villain we should mention is Wilson Fisk. Although we haven't seen him in any MCU movies yet, he does exist in the cinematic universe thanks to the Daredevil Netflix show.
We've barely scratched the tip of the iceberg here, and we've already got enough members to form a team of 6 villains. Honestly though, apart from the Vulture and Mysterio, the other characters aren't true Sinister Six material. Although some of them have formed the Sinister Six before, they wouldn't give off the classic feel the team should. This leads to introducing more villains being the only true option.
We have decided that some of the most iconic members have been Venom, Green Goblin, Lizard, Rhino, Electro, Kraven, Sandman, and of course Doc Ock. The fact that all but one of these characters have already been used in past Spider-Man films probably wouldn't be ideal for Marvel. But revamping the characters will be needed for the team to function properly. Even if Marvel did try to avoid this, they'd undoubtedly have to bring Doc Ock for the team to even be worthwhile.
So we've already established villains that could be in the Sinister Six, and ones that should be, but now it's time for us to share with you guys our team that we've assembled with care and precision to create the perfect gang of Packers foes.
Before we started coming up with our Sinister Six, we first had to eliminate certain villains from our list. We first decided to take Mysterio out of the equation. This is because the Quentin Beck in the last Spidey film is supposedly dead. Whether you believe this or not, we also thought that his powers wouldn't match up with those of all the other members. They all have real powers, and we think putting him with these villains wouldn't work well on the big screen. And because of this, we think we have seen all the character has to offer in this sense.
Next, we ruled out Venom. The reasons for this is simple. He's already in Sony's cinematic universe, and we think for now he should stay there. We love the Venom movie, and we'd love to eventually see him in the MCU, but for now, we've decided to avoid the character.
We loved Michael Keaton in Spider-Man Homecoming as we thought his portrayal of the Vulture was terrific. His final scenes in Homecoming show Spider-Man saving the Vulture's life, and in return, the Vulture kept Peter Parker's identity a secret. Despite his secret identity being revealed to the public in Far From Home, we think this scene showed the Vulture has some respect for Spider-Man, which is why we think he shouldn't be included in the MCU's Sinister Six. We love Adrian Toomes as a character, and we love his storyline so far, which we would like to see go further than the Sinister Six.
Next is Sandman. Our reasoning for this is extremely simple. We love the portrayal of the character in Spider-Man 3, and we don't want Thomas Hayden Church's performance of the character to be ruined or overshadowed in any way. We also think that his powers are very similar to the Elementals, and that seeing similar powers so soon will be confusing for certain viewers. And the fact that the powers are so similar could make some very familiar and therefore boring fight scenes.
We think most of the other villains we've mentioned, apart from the ones Jake highlighted earlier, aren't really Sinister Six worthy and don't need explaining too much apart from the Green Goblin. Although he usually is a member of the team, we think in the MCU he should be a definite no. This is due to him already appearing in both previous franchises and his past 2 representations being fairly poor. If they did want to put a Goblin in the group, we'd prefer to see Hobgoblin as he hasn't had a chance on the big screen yet, but overall we think Green Goblin should be avoided because of his previous representations. So our first member of our perfect Sinister Six is Doc Ock. We thought we'd mention him first as he's a must-have in the group and was definitely expected by most of you watching. The group has to have Doc Ock, as he is the true leader of the group. His character is a perfect leader and works well in the team environment as he manages to acquire and motivate all the villains whilst also being the tech guy. We've thought long and hard about who we want to play the character, but he's one of the hardest to choose an actor for as the character is so important he needs to be played perfectly. The first actor we could think of was Josh Mcdermitt. He plays Eugene in The Walking Dead, who's an underappreciated genius much like Doc Ock. We believe he could play a professor who feels sorry for himself extremely well, whilst also expressing his hidden built-up anger. Although Alfred Molina's performance will be near impossible to compete with, we believe Josh could do a pretty good job. However, our top pick is Patton Oswalt. Just by looking at him, you can see he's a perfect Octavius. He looks exactly like Otto does in the comics, and due to him being a big fan, he'd definitely take the role. This makes us believe he's a more suitable actor to play Doc Ock.
As well as the brains, the team has to have the brawn, which leads us to our second villain, the Rhino. We've seen the Rhino previously in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. However, nobody was impressed with the way his character was portrayed. Paul Giamatti's performance as the Rhino was just terrible in my opinion, and the direction they went with his character and suit didn't work at all. Our most ideal choice for the MCU's Rhino is Dominic Purcell, who most famously played Link in Prison Break. Similar to the Rhino, Link is a tough guy who isn't very smart and acts on impulse more than anything else. Because of this, we think he might do a pretty good job as the MCU's Rhino. We hope that if the Rhino is introduced, they'll go down the comic route where he is bound to his suit and his prime ambition is to be free. If Marvel can do this right, we think it could be the first good adaptation of the Rhino in a Spider-Man film.
Our third pick for one of the Sinister Six villains is Electro. Electro is one of the essentials for the team, as he has appeared in many different versions of the Sinister Six throughout Marvel's history. We think his powers are unique and adds a lot to the team. His most iconic appearance was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, however, it was awful. This just makes us want to see him on the big screen again, even more. Jamie Foxx's portrayal of Electro was dreadful, and we think there are many other actors who could pull off the character. A very common choice to play Electro is Aaron Paul. However, our top pick for the character is Jason Statham, as we believe he could pull off a perfect Electro and revamp the character.
Up next is a pick that I'm personally most excited for, which is Kraven. Our reason for this is that he hasn't been seen in any Spidey films before, and this is extremely rare for most Spidey villains, as you've probably already noticed. This makes me extremely excited. I love Kraven, and I've been waiting to see him premiere on the big screen for years. We have chose to put him on our list due to him being avoided by past Spidey movies, which we think Marvel will take advantage of. As of our chosen actor, we can't think of anyone better than JDM to play the part. He looks perfect to play the character, and after watching his performance in Watchmen and The Walking Dead, we know that he's not afraid to appear in comic book movies. The characters he plays in these films are also extremely cocky and have a lot of pride, which is exactly like Kraven, proving he would play a perfect Kraven.
We think the Lizard would also be a good addition to the MCU's Sinister Six. Despite Dr. Kurt Connors being in both of the previous franchises, we don't think he was ever done justice. In the Sam Raimi trilogy, Dr. Connors never had a chance to transform into the Lizard, and in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise his character wasn't done very well, as he had no real motive and didn't look that great. Most performances of the MCU Spider-Man films are quite comedic, and Tudyk is most known as a comedic actor, appearing in films such as Dodgeball and A Knight's Tale. He has also appeared in many sci-fi roles before, including Hoban Washburn in Firefly and K2SO in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. He has a physical appearance similar to that of Dr. Connors, and is a good voice actor, so he could probably pull off a decent voice for the Lizard. He would probably be comfortable providing a mocap performance as well, since he's done it before for his role in Rogue One.
And last but not least is Scorpion. Scorpion is an obvious choice because he is already in the MCU looking for revenge on Spider-Man. He is played by Michael Mundo, which we love, and we can't wait to see more of him.
So thank you all for watching this video, and we really hope you enjoyed, because this video was so fun to make, and honestly it took us forever. If you agree with our picks, comment down below, and if you disagree, we'd love to hear from you. We'd like to hear who you'd put in the Sinister Six, who you want to act as them, and anything else you have to say. So drop any of your opinions in the comments below, and like and subscribe for more. We'd appreciate if you turned on notifications too, so you guys know whenever we upload a video. So again, thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you again on The Facts with JJJ.